I don't know why my brother isn't guilty. But I know that there's more to him than what I'm seeing. And that is justification enough for me to go into the silence. Right here, right now, not in the privacy of my home when I'm not confronted with my brother, but right here while I'm in the way with him. To go into the silence within and listen for the words and the meanings that will convey his guiltlessness to him in a way that he might comprehend. And remember, just because someone comprehends it doesn't mean they will immediately appreciate it. And so you must be willing to be there the next day and the next day and the next day, or whenever the occasion arises, to represent that truth. To represent whatever in that moment is being revealed to you to share. We've been getting together for what? Over 2 years. I'm not getting tired of continuing to tell you the truth, because you deserve not to be suffering from your ignorance of the truth. Again, until you realize that God's Son cannot be crucified, this is the world you will see. The world that's the picture of the crucifixion of God's Son. Yet, you will not realize this until you accept the eternal fact that God's Son is not guilty. He deserves only love because he has given only love. Like the Son of God who thought he was Napoleon and cursed the water cooler. Nothing happened. No curse occurred. The water cooler doesn't have to worry, because there was no Napoleon. There was only the Son of God. And whatever the Son of God does occur. He, the Son of God, you, cannot be condemned because he, you, has never condemned. Because you can't turn into a figment of your imagination and cause anything to happen that would justify your condemnation. The atonement is the final lesson he need learn, for it teaches him that, never having sinned, he has no need of salvation. And down a little further, love and guilt cannot coexist. Therefore, they don't coexist. They are like two different orders of reality. But one isn't real. And what isn't real cannot coexist with what is real. Love and guilt cannot coexist. And to accept one is to deny the other. Guilt hides Christ, your true being, from your sight, for it is the denial of the blamelessness of God's Son. So tonight, we're simply illuminating the fact that each one of you at this moment is blameless, and you do not have to wait until you've paid your appropriate penance before you can have the conscious experience of what you divinely are. Guilt says, your freedom cannot be had until a certain point. And that point follows a certain appropriate amount of suffering. If you're going to have an instantaneous healing, or if you are going to awaken, you've got to lay down the concept of guilt and your devotion to it, your validation of it. Because your validation of it does one thing only. It confirms your orphanhood to you a little longer. And yet, you are not fatherless. You are not motherless. You are not absent a source with a capital S, and never have been. So the idea that you're a separated orphan on your own, all by yourself, is pure imagination. It is pure imagination. Remind yourself of that this week. Write on your sticky note, your orphanhood is pure imagination. Your Napoleonhood is pure imagination. You can see it when I talk about the fellow in the institution who says he's Napoleon. And what you can see about that, you can apply equally to yourself. And that will help to open the door. That will help you to, with a little bit more insistence, invite in greater clarity, greater sanity than you're currently experiencing. Now, I'm going to finish up with a simple point. What I'm suggesting to you that you do is not something impossible. And it is also something that you do not have to do all by yourself. Why? Because that which is nothing more than your right mind, which is called the Holy Spirit, because you couldn't get away from it, is still present as your sanity, with a capital S, your divine sanity, nudging, pressuring, cajoling you into recognizing the truth about you. And your guide is doing the same thing. And I am doing the same thing. And you could say that the Father, being the non-existence of this whole fantasy that you're having, is ultimately supporting you in your new realizations. So, how do you let this in? All this help? You just stop being so damned independent. And stop valuing your independence so greatly. Want not to be alone. And ask for the Father or the Holy Spirit or me to be with you, and then let us be. It's like you're standing outside the door of your home, and unbeknownst to you, all of your friends are inside, waiting for you to open up the door so they can say, surprise! We love you and we're having a party for you. We are welcoming you home. I love you all. And I look forward to being with you next week.